The views and opinions on this podcast are just that, our beliefs, views, and opinions. Not everyone will agree with what is said, and that's okay. Our goal is to provoke thought and maybe inspire as we delve into all things occult, pagan, Wiccan, and witchcraft related. Book of Shadows podcast is sponsored by the Gypsy Haven, Elgin, Illinois' largest witch shop at www.thegypsyhaven.com and online Wiccan supplies, providing thousands of items for your personal needs at www.onlinewiccansupplies.com. Hey guys, this is Feather and my husband,
Shay.
Welcome to Book of Shadows podcast number 1. Say hi, Shay.
Hi.
My 49-year-old husband actually has the mentality of a 5-year-old, so he should be quite entertaining.
Well,
on
you
this
gotta call me
podcast.
out on my age.
Because we're all getting old around here. Anyway, Shay and I decided to sit down and create this podcast for you wonderful people for the simple fact that we haven't heard too many podcasts out there with a husband and wife team of as much experience together, I guess you could say, with you and I.
Yeah.
We've been through
It's
a lot.
not just experience, it's just also varying different degrees of backgrounds, too.
Well, yeah.
I'm gonna call it
Well,
that.
that's the cool thing that make us such a killer fucking team is the fact that, even though we are a killer duo, we are so different in personality. So even, excuse me, outside of our own personality, even the things that we bring to the table as far as, our spiritual aspects and what we've learned and our discoveries, I think that collectively as a unit, we can provide a lot of input for people out there to ponder on and maybe, we are the proud owners of a store in Elgin, Illinois called the Gypsy Haven. So I think that you will find a lot of the information that we talk about, even as, experiences that we get from people that come through the store as well. And we didn't even really know where to start. Did you even know where to start with our podcast? I mean, you want to talk about yourself for a bit, or
No.
No?
I'll get to that.
Okay. Shay tends to be a little shy. I can be a little
shy
extroverted.
one.
Yeah, he's pretty shy.
You're the talking to one.
Yeah, I'm extremely extroverted. I'm a goat. I'm a Capricorn / hardcore cusp with Aquarius, and he's my Scorpio.
I'm deep.
Yeah, he gets pretty deep. So I may be loud and obnoxious, but usually when he has something to say, it's worth listening to.
Sometimes.
Sometimes, yeah. Other times he just makes you want to pee yourself because you're laughing so hard. But anyway, we will get to know us through that experience from us talking to you. So we didn't really know exactly where to start with podcast number 1. We figured we'd let you guys get to know us, and maybe eventually we'll get to know you guys a little bit better. So I suggested to Shay to post on our Facebook page, on the Gypsy Haven Facebook page, some questions that maybe some of our customers / audience members would like to know about us.
Yeah.
On our first podcast. So it's just kind of like breaks the ice and, gets all the jitters out of our system doing this for the first time, because we're newbies at this too. So just bear with us because we can be stupid. So I don't know, shall we just start and break the ice and pretend like it's a big old shot of tequila and break the nerves? Yeah?
All right.
Okay.
So we'll start with question number 1 from Amanda Newcomb. Sorry, I don't know if I should be calling out last names.
Amanda.
Okay.
There's a shout out to Amanda.
All right. So she would like to know, you can start and then I'll do mine after, I guess.
Okay.
How old were you when you started, and what led you to your practice?
How old was I when I started, let's say, witchcraft, perhaps?
Started down your journey through...
Or my spiritual, well...
Whatever you want to call it.
Okay, well, we'll go way back, because I'm sure that there are plenty of people out there that can relate to this, even the younger folk. I think I was around 16 at the time. I kind of socially awkward in high school, didn't know what I liked and what I didn't like, had a whole lot of rage against my parents and people in general, and needed to find something that'd bring me a little bit of happiness. So I actually started my witchcraft, if you want, in a closet doing candle spells, probably about the age 14, 15, 16. I'm so fucking old. I don't remember how far back that was, but
You're old.
yeah, I know. Hey,
Call me out.
You're older than I am, so you.
Like 2 days.
Anyway, so I mean, but even at that age, I just thought it would be cool to be a witch. I didn't know anything, and I didn't know anybody to teach me anything. I grew up with some Hollywood movies and just kind of like winging it as far as witchcraft, and it was actually a lot of fun. It kind of led to a scary path after the fact, and it wasn't from what I was doing, but people that I associated myself
Now I'm
with.
going to jump in and say, so what was the candle spell that you did?
Oh, I don't know exactly. I remember it had to do with, because we didn't have, or I'm not going to say we did not have form candles, which are just candles that look like people. I don't remember ever finding form candles. So I had 2 candles, and I don't remember if I was trying to bring them together or pull them apart. Knowing me at that age, I was probably trying to bring somebody to me, so I was like tying them together and like step by step, inch by inch, bringing them together and trying to set the house on fire. And, I don't know, it was stupid crazy. But all I remember was it was better than playing with Barbie dolls because I was playing with fire, and, I just thought it was cool. So, again, we're talking a long time ago, and I couldn't tell you if I was like, who I was praying to, the words I said or anything like that, but... What about you? You remember your very, very first spell or witchy
So that's what
thing?
led you to your practice, too?
No, I'm giving you a chance to
My
talk.
first spell?
Yeah, it's your first spell.
We go way back. Back in a time when... No, can't do that. I don't know. For me, I got to start way from the beginning. So I guess when I was a kid, I was introduced to Catholicism because of coming from an Italian, Spanish family. That's what everything was. So I was an altar boy, Catholic schools. Went through all the way up till, 9th grade, I think, something like that. Once I got out of it, still wasn't feeling fulfilled. Kind of anger for a lot of other reasons. But anyway, got into like Satanism. So I guess that would be my first start in it all. But at that time, Satanism to me was not what it is now that I know what it is. If that makes any sense.
Mm-hmm.
I was a kid thinking, oh, it's black magic. I'm going to do all this crazy shit and
Just
fucking
piss
destroy
people
people.
off. You're only Satan.
Yeah, so it was kind of like my first spell. Technically, I guess, would have been selling my soul to the devil, if that was a thing back then.
Oh, well, that's pretty common. You hear people talk about that all the time.
Yeah, but at that time, it was what we thought we were doing and what we really did. Who the hell knows? I mean, things were verified a little bit later, but I'd say it's probably about 13, 14 when I went and did that fun stuff.
What did you do? What did you promise him? You sold your soul to Satan?
Me and my best friend, we had this crazy idea that we were going to take the world by the balls and we were going to own everything and be rich and famous rock stars and all this fun stuff.
I
And,
remember you wanting to be a rock star.
yeah. And then, so we sat down in some dark, dingy basement, some abandoned house, and we decided to light a candle, wrote our petition out in blood on paper. And then...
Blood, that's deep.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we decided to do this little thing. We didn't know what the hell we were doing. We were just winging it. And as we were doing it, it was weird because the actual candle flame went way up.
It grew?
Yeah, big time.
Yeah.
While we were doing it. And it was like no air, no nothing. And then the thing just started moving around crazily. And then all of a sudden when we were done, it just stopped. And then the thing went out.
It went out by itself?
Yeah. So I don't know if that was
Creepy.
really us doing it, if it was a spirit that was in the house. I mean, I'll get into the other stuff of what happened later pertaining to that, I guess. But
your first experience was selling your soul to the devil.
Yeah, I guess if that's what you want to call it, whether you ridicule me or not, I don't give a shit. It was
Well,
just the point
no,
of,
I think that
that's what we did when we were kids, so that was like our mindset back then. So it was not really witchcraft related.
No, it
but
was like
more-
rebellious against people that we fucking hated at the
Yeah,
time, just
for the
being
most part.
angry and
For the most part. So that kind of got me on my path. So that's my first spell and led me to my path.
that led you to your path?
Yeah,
Did it
because there
really?
was other
Wow.
things that evolved from that point on. Because then, after doing that, and then one point later in life, I think by that point I was probably about 17. I had a really crazy scare because I actually was looking at myself in the mirror one morning, and I was trying to like get deep into my eye so I can see into the back of my head, basically.
You're staring into your own pupils?
Yeah.
Yeah.
For like a long period of time. And what I was trying to, I was asking. So then I shot it out there in my head. If what I did was actually true, talking about when I sold my soul, I said, I want a sign. And then the crazy thing was my eyes instantly shot to the corner of my face on my right cheek, shot right up to the right corner of my eyeball, and straight back into the mirror, totally uncontrolled. I did not do that. And then the next morning I woke up, I had, on my cheek, to backtrack a little, on my cheek where my eye shot was a pimple, 3 pimples in the shape of a triangle. When I woke up the next morning, the pimples were gone, but now I had 3 beauty marks in the shape of a triangle in the corner of my right
Like
eye.
freckled beauty
Yeah.
marks?
Yeah, like little dots. So they look
You're going
just
to be
like.
scaring the shit out of everybody
No.
when we talk about Satan and stuff.
No.
No. Okay.
So then, that kind of freaked me out.
that
So I
would
was
freak
like,
anybody
oh
out.
yeah, did I really do that?
I'm going to be a rock star now.
No, never happened.
No, well.
I had fun.
you
I mean, I
tried.
did a lot of journeys to rock and
Yeah.
music, but never became a rock star.
You never, like, had vinyl made that you played backward that a witch blessed and, like, the Beatles had
No,
number
that's
9,
all
number
crap
9.
coming
Okay.
from the Christian conservatives and all that junk,
Okay.
but we'll get into that later too.
Yeah. Oh, and by the way, as a couple, I think it's safe to say that we're pretty non-PC and, yeah, kind of. Well, you know what? I'm not even going to speak for you. I'll let you speak for yourself. But I am extremely anti-religious because I know that that's
I'm not
going
going to say I'm
brought up too.
anti-religious. I'm more. I don't know. I question a lot of things. And
Well,
a lot
that's
of times I
good.
like to play devil's advocate and I'll throw
You're
shit
good
out
at
there
it,
just to
too.
like provoke people, and I become annoying sometimes. But that's
You're good at
just
that also.
the way I am. So anyway, so after that little fun scare, then I kind of like freaked myself out. Then I started contemplating, now am I going to die? Am I going to go to hell? Because all that's coming from my Catholic belief system. And then I was like, you know what? I think it was probably, I dealt with it for a little while. At one point I was just teeter-tottering around, really not doing much. And then I think it was 17, 18, became baptized Christian. Something like that. And then ever since then, those 3 dots went away. So I don't know if that
Really?
was like my saving thing or what it was.
The power
But
of
even
Christ compels
Christianity
you.
still was not fulfilling.
Yeah.
But even in the time of doing when I thought I sold my soul, it was kind of like, it's also dabbling in a lot of other stuff too, but getting more into like the witchcraft end of different things. But again, at the time was being more on the naive aspect, not really understanding what I was really doing.
Well, even back in our day, we didn't have a lot to teach us.
There was stuff there, we just didn't know where to go. We were kids. It's not like we had
Yeah.
money to go to a store and buy all these different books. And I mean, I had a cool mom. So, I mean, she luckily had an encyclopedia of man, myth, and magic, the entire thing. So I read a lot of those growing up. And my mother was more into like Native American type shit instead of getting into like, even though she was Catholic, she still followed a lot of Native American. She let me play with Ouija boards. She let me do a lot of different stuff that I got to do as a kid that not many kids get to experience and go through. So all those were kind of like my stepping stones to my start. And I guess my first spell, if you want to call it that. And kind of like my lead up into my evolution of where I am today.
Your evolution.
Evolution. Because I am. No, I was kidding. Anyway. So now, did you answer her question? What led you to your practice?
Well,
I kind of think I did. I think roundabout, maybe. Hopefully.
No, not necessarily in my practice, because, we're talking, if I had to guess back, 14, 15, 16 years old, and I'm 48 now.
49.
I am not 49. Stop it. Not yet. Anyway, what I thought was cool and what I wanted to be in my very rebellious state, I think was perfectly normal for most teenagers. Oops, sorry about that. Most teenagers, we even get a lot of teenagers that come into the store now, and I can totally empathize with where they're at. However, we all grow and change as people. And even when I walked away, or actually ran away from witchcraft, and, that's another long, boring story. If anybody ever wants to hear, just ask and I'll tell you. It led to a very human path. I'm just like, okay, shit happens. I got to go out in the world and survive. And just like you, I was subjected to a lot of, you were brought up, in a Catholic upbringing. Mine was more of a different denominations of Christianity, I suppose. And tried having faith in their so-called God. And just like you, I was often looked down upon in Bible study, asking too many questions, and I think you did it more just to piss people off, because you're really good at that. And that's not entirely true. I know that you actually have a lot of questions that you want answered too, and so did I.
Yeah.
It's like, why do you believe that this happened? And don't just keep going back to a book and quoting a phrase out of the Bible to me. No, talk to me, tell me. And nobody could. So
It's faith.
Well,
That's the only thing I kept hearing over and over and over.
And even
It's
back
faith.
then, I'm not going to say that I don't have faith, because my faith is unshakable, but not in their faith. Just like you, I evolved into something completely different, a different morph from religion into what I would consider more of a spiritual path. And we hear that, and everybody's like, oh, that's so new age. No, it's pretty true.
Considering our backgrounds of what we're into, yeah.
Well, yeah. I think that we have a lot that we could in the future talk about from your Catholicism beliefs and upbringings, and even things that you apply to yourself in comparison to Christianity, and certain things that I still believe that I was taught with all of that. But as far as the spiritual part of my new path, totally anti-religious. And mine actually stemmed from a breakdown that I had from a very traumatic experience that you and I went through 19 years ago, where I flipped off God. And I'm like, you know what? Fuck you. I hate you. I don't want you in my house. I will never be in your house again. And I stormed out like a little kid having a temper tantrum, but I meant it. I meant it hard. And even I think that was probably the pivoting point of my life to the spiritual path that I'm on now, was that big old fuck you. I'm sick and fucking tired of all of this garbage, of this religion, of all of these people, of the hypocrites, of all of it. And I did. I stormed away from it for a while, probably a year or so. But the crazy thing is that, and I'm not speaking as an agnostic or anything. Again, my faith is pretty fucking solid. But when you walk away from something, even though you can't quite explain it, you walk away from it completely. For me, I felt like I was missing something. Something that I couldn't find amongst humans. I knew I couldn't find it in religion. I just started feeling empty inside. Very, very lonely, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
And
But I don't know. I have a hard time because I do fall under agnostic.
Yeah.
Because I don't really believe in a God. I believe in varying levels of energy, varying degrees of vibration. But when it comes to a God figure, I have a hard time believing in that.
And there are plenty of people that feel that way. And you know what? Why force it? If you don't, then don't.
Yeah.
I
don't force it.
There are people that believe in
Taking steps to try to expand my horizons and learn to see if there is one that does exist.
Well, we're all
or at least
learning.
be influenced by something.
We're all learning.
We'll get to that later.
That's later. I think that's part of the experience that we're having in this meat bag thing, that we're walking around in. We're supposed to learn and grow. And as far as me figuring out the fact that I had a hole inside and I needed something, either that or just go fucking end it, Beth, because this is stupid. Oh, yep, by the way, you just heard my real name. My real name's Beth. That's okay. So,
What? Feather?
Feather, Beth, whatever.
Raven?
Witchcraft, to me, or for me, didn't follow till later. You know, and getting back to the original question, spirituality, you know, finding true joy and happiness, that started not from another human. I would say probably from books and just reading and absorbing the things that I wanted to absorb that just felt right, listening to conversations and things that felt right, applying those things that I'd look around and learn and listen and applied to me that just started fucking feeling right. That snowballed into, you know, a strong spiritual path, or at least wanting to. You know, witchcraft came later.
Yeah, you know what's crazy? Just this thing just hit me. You got to look at back when we started, or when we were even venturing out. Internet never existed,
Right.
so we didn't have like this technology that we have today, where we can type in something, look it up online, and fulfill whatever we had. So we had to like
Classified ads.
try to find people, try to like research different things, and you're talking what, late 70s, early 80s. This shit didn't like
Yeah.
wasn't out there hardly that much. Everybody was in this whole new age kind of hippie thing that was happening back in the 60s and the 70s that was transforming into the hair metal crap that came out later. Rah, it was awesome. It was a fun times, man. Never mind. All right. So do you think you answered Amanda's question?
Repeat it.
How old were you when you started?
16 at witchcraft, 30 on the spiritual path.
What led you to your practice?
The practice of witchcraft
To your practice.
to spirituality, I answered that because I knew that there was something missing.
Well, there's other things that
As
come
far
up when it
as
comes to the...
witchcraft, we'll get there. I just like setting shit on fire. But
Yeah.
anyway, okay, go ahead.
All right. So next question came from Erica. I'm going to eliminate last name.
Okay.
Why
Hey,
pagan instead of other religious options? And I think we kind of blended that with the...
No,
Last question.
I have something to say about that.
Okay.
As far as the religion that I was exposed to, I think that one of the things, as a very independent, strong-willed female, had a thorn in my side with when it came to, let's say, the Christian faith, was that the patriarchy, male dominance, blah. You know, everything was, you know, masculine, and very, very little credit went to feminine power and energy. And, you know, I would flip through that big old book trying to find stories about female heroes and stuff, and it was always like the guys, you know, and the girls don't do anything, the guys do everything. And that was, I think that was one of the biggest things that really fucking annoyed me about at least the Christian faith, anyway, was the patriarchy. And then everybody tried to console me. No, women are great. You know, you just have to be subservient, blah. And I'm like, you know what? Fuck your subservience. Where's the equality in this?
You got to look at when that stuff was written, though, because if you look at the Bible, if it goes all the way back to the Roman era, I mean, not even the Romans, back when, if it even comes from the Middle East aspect of everything, women were here, men were up here. So they just translated that, and they didn't want women to have power. So it's just like they had to keep that. If they had made women anything other than, then that would have kind of like destroyed their whole culture and everything else that they believed in.
No, and I get it. It was all about, you know, I've got big dick. I conquer you with my big dick. But even if you look back to, you know, some of the old pagan beliefs, and I'm not going to sit here and say I'm an expert at anything, because I'm not. But even looking back at, let's say, the Egyptian, that is a word, Egyptian beliefs. They had male gods and female goddesses.
Yeah.
And even in my
So did the
studies
Greeks.
of that,
So did the old Romans.
well, I think the Egyptians were like pretty, is it safe to say that they were like the dominant force? I don't know. I kind of feel like the Romans and the Greeks kind of ripped off the Egyptians a little bit. And I could be totally wrong in saying that.
Depends on where you look, where you follow. Because even in the Hermetic, even with the Emerald Tablets, what I'm looking at now, everything kind of intertwines with each other. And it's hard to say exactly where it pinpoints from. So it's...
Yeah, we probably aren't strayed too far. We're never going to get through podcast number 1 on that. We can go, like, talk forever. Yeah. But as far as I found more comfort under the pagan umbrella in comparison to the Abrahamic umbrella, which is what? Christianity, Muslim, Judaism, correct? More of the patriarchal beliefs. And the fact that, at least under the pagan umbrella, I felt that I could find a little more balance of energy when it comes to female. And feminine. Right. So that's why it was very easy for me to poo-poo when I grew up from and started to delve deeper into educating myself more about paganism. Did that make any sense?
Yeah.
Yeah? Was there another part of that question?
Nope.
Or what about you? What about you, paganism, in comparison to?
It's hard because, again, I come from a Catholic background when I was a kid. Also, Native American with my mother, into Native American stuff. I was going back and forth between the two. I did a lot of reading growing up. It's from books my mother had because my mother was an avid reader. She had collections of books. So I do a lot of stuff, even on Native American type stuff. And even that stuff kind of like influenced me a lot. So I don't know if it'd really fall under the pagan category. I guess if you want to look at their belief system and the way it's structured, Native American-wise, in comparison to what the pagans believe, it's very similar in aspects. But for the most part, I'm going to say mine would start from that point. I mean, we looked at Catholicism, went to Presbyterian churches, we went to a few different churches, trying to just experience different things, try to see what was out there, see what other parts existed. And this whole stand, kneel, bow crap was getting annoying. And then I'm sorry, I shouldn't bash anybody's religion. If you believe whatever you believe, that's cool. As long as you believe in something, I'm happy. Let me just state that.
Right.
I'm not trying to bash anybody's religion.
Right.
Just talking my own shit.
Right.
So anyway, we looked at different things, and a lot of stuff just doesn't feel right. I mean, for someone to tell me that I'm either going to heaven or I'm going to hell because I throw a piece of paper out a window, I mean, that's, to me, is fucking crap. I'll just say it.
Or even beyond that, what about the extremist of, I hear plenty of Christians nowadays that say that if you work with stones, rocks, that's satanic. And I'm not saying that, all Christians are like that, but you've got extremities that
extremes in
that
everything,
are...
though. Even from Muslims to Christians to Catholics to even pagans and Wiccans. I mean,
yeah.
You have extremes in every aspect of everything.
That's because we're dealing with humans.
Thinks their thing is either the right way or the wrong way.
It's either their way or no way, or the wrong way.
A lot of people are like that, but a lot of people aren't like that. And it depends on what you fall into, what you're comfortable with, I guess. So for me, I don't know. I like the freedom to choose what I like. And for me, again, being in the agnostic end of everything, I have a hard time believing in a God. So for me, it's any God, male or female. I mean, again, I believe in levels of energy. I know you need a masculine and a feminine to make one. You can't have one without the other. So I don't have a set thing. So for me, I guess that would be why I chose paganism instead of other religious options. I don't know. I mean, we've looked at a bunch of them, and this just fits.
And I think that's even one of the reasons why you and I get along so well as a power couple is the fact that, number one, we have so much experience and, even meeting each other for the first time, having different upbringings. We're two very different people, but collectively together, it's not that you get all the masculine work because you got a dick and I have to stay home and bear children because I have a vagina. It's not like that.
Who says?
There are plenty of days where I wear the pants and you're at home doing the dishes,
I like panties. They're comfortable.
Well, hey, if you want the world to know that, then Shay loves to wear his pantyhose. Okay, that's Okay, just stay out of my panty drawer. We'll be fine, Shay.
I'll stretch them up.
Okay, what is your next question? Please.
All right. So this is from Lena. What is one occult book you could not live without, and why?
I can't say that I couldn't live without any of them. I love, love, love all my books. I believe knowledge is power. And going off of a book that's been written by a so-called known author, not an author off the internet, somebody that just like makes a blog and look at me, I know fucking everything. No, you don't. Shut up. Going off of well-respected and known books, that's where I've learned, a lot. And with that knowledge, has really helped change my life. And to say that I couldn't live without one particular, I can't say that's true. If my library burnt down to the ground, I would cry equally for all of my books. I know that here in the store, we sell the most of the Complete Idiot's Guide to Wiccan Witchcraft.
Yeah.
We sell a lot of those, and I know I talk about that a lot, probably because about 95% of the people that come through the store are new. Excuse me. I think that it lays a great foundation to the craft and even Wicca as a religion. So it is one that I tend to go to often to remember certain things. The simplest of things, even though it's simple, it's so complex. But favorite? I have different authors. I'm a Scott Cunningham whore. I absolutely love Scott Cunningham when it comes to herbs, oils, and stones. Silver Ravenwolf, is that what her name is? Mm-hmm. I love her book, The Solitary Witch, because it's more like an encyclopedia rather than, it doesn't really have a curriculum of any type or a syllabus of learning like the Idiot's Guide does.
But even Anna Moore's Green, which is pretty cool too, because it's a different aspect of thinking and a different way of doing certain things.
But that's the cool thing.
So I like hers too.
Even when people ask me, where should I start, with books? I'm like, don't limit yourself. In opinion, I prefer not to just find one favorite author and stick with that, because that's one person, and variety is the spice of life. You need to learn from every angle that you can possibly fathom. Get all this information. And you may have 3 books in front of you with one particular topic, and 3 different authors say 3 completely different things. And then some people go, well, I don't fucking know. Which one do I choose? Which one felt right?
I learned from them all because, to me, again, knowledge is power. So the more you know, the more you understand, the more you can be better at what it is you're trying to do.
And the fact that they do differ even provokes thought in my head, just like why we're doing this podcast.
Again,
it's to inspire
I can
thought.
write a spell that works for me, but it doesn't mean it's going to work for you.
It probably wouldn't.
So it's all by taking all that information, you can create your own thing.
Magic.
That fits you.
Right.
That's what's beautiful about this lifestyle, if that's what you... That's
I like that lifestyle. Yeah.
Because you're not pigeonholed into doing one particular thing. Unless, again, but that's us. We're eclectic, so we don't fall into a coven aspect of things. And a lot of covens are set on certain traditions, which is cool. That works for them. We're open to incorporating different shit into our world. Right. So, again, different authors, different...
We read books all the time. You read me to sleep at night. What are you reading right now?
Emerald Tablets I was reading last night to you.
Yeah.
But the one book, for me, if I had to say... one occult book that I could not live without, and why, I don't even know if I'm going to say this correctly, is the Kybalion.
Kybalion?
Kybalion. Kybalion. That book to me is like the foundation to everything that...
You're currently practicing?
Exists.
That exists?
And when it comes to most religions, it's like the foundation to the craft. It's like the foundation to all, because it's based on Hermeticism, but the thing is, it's the principles of it, and the 7 principles are just that. I mean, it's, without getting into it.
Yeah, don't go too deep.
Yeah,
We can
it's
go
like-
deep in another podcast.
That's the book I would have to say is probably the best book to have in your collection, because it is the foundation to every single thing that you're going to learn or went through or anything else going into the future.
And I'm not going to debate that, because you, like I said, when you're reading this stuff to me at night, but just to let you guys know that the shit that's in that book is fucking deep. He's like telling me words that I'm like, what? You know, it's like, whew, I feel so ignorant when it comes to, it's like, man, I should have like 13 years in college to understand what some of these words mean. But I get it, you know, and
That's why they make dictionaries.
Well, eat me. For me, any books, especially when it comes to any religion, any philosophy, any witchcraft spell, any books outside of faith that teach you about earth, air, fire, water. I'm a big girl on earth, air, fire, water.
It's the foundation
You can
of
find
everything.
It is.
You can't live without it.
You cannot exist without a single one.
Nope.
And every faith, if you dig deep enough, you'll find it, is based off of those 4.
Yeah. Actually 5, technically.
Well, with spirit,
They have
or
spirit in it.
some people, when it comes to alchemy, they earth, air, fire, water, and metal, I think. I don't know.
The 4 elements when it comes to alchemy are based on the metals based. Okay. The elements are associated with metals. There we go.
Oh, okay. Well, again, that's another podcast if anybody wants to hear about that. Okay, did we answer that question? We've been like, bleh.
I think so.
Okay.
I did.
I think we did.
Kybalion. That's my book.
Yeah, and for beginners, The Complete Idiot's Guide to Wicca and Witchcraft. For people a little more advanced, Silver Raven Wolves, The Solitary Witch. How's that? Can't say I can't live without them, but I do appreciate them both.
Okay.
Okay. Ta-ta.
Next question is from Stephanie. I think we answered the first part already somewhere in their journey.
What did
we
she
just
say?
talked about. What started you in your journey?
Okay.
And what made you decide to open your own store? So that part we didn't answer, but what started us on our journey, I think we kind of hit that
Yeah.
back a little bit.
And if she has any more questions, then she can ask again. I'd be happy to answer. But
So let's go to the one
The
that says,
store.
what made you decide to open your own store?
our baby, our home away from home.
Even though I'm the brains of it all, and
Oh,
I do all
yeah,
the decorating
right.
and set everything up.
Yeah. Okay. I will not
My
sit
dick
here
is
and
bigger
say
than
that. I will not sit here and say that you're any better at numbers than I am, because that's not true. I'm a Capricorn. I'm real good with this
1
shit.
plus 1 is
and
5,
I'm all,
baby.
I'm real good with business. Yeah, and trying to get you to dust is like pulling teeth. But anyway, I love you.
Yeah.
Out of our relationship together, I can speak for myself saying that I've been an entrepreneur since since grade school. I set up fake stores in my room and had my sisters come in and buy things from me with fake Monopoly money, and I just got such a boner from that. It's like, I'm doing something that generates money, so it comes easy as a Capricorn to or at least want to be in a business. I just didn't know what kind. So as a young age, I remember selling stickers in school and bubble gum just to make money.
Drugs.
Well, yeah, that was, you're a bad boy. Yeah. Well,
I was
anyway.
a kid.
Well, okay.
Troubled kid.
All right. At least you outgrew it. Thank you.
No. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, but it's safe to say that Shay, being a Scorpio, he likes control and power, and he's really, really good with other people's money. So he's very business oriented as well, aren't you? Yeah. Would you say?
Yeah.
I don't
Think
want to
so.
sit here and
Hope
fucking
so.
talk for you, but I am. Anyway, we tried a
Talk
couple
about
businesses.
yourself, not me.
I did.
I'll get to me.
You'll get to you? Okay. We tried a couple different businesses before in the past.
A few.
Yeah, and and it was fun. And it made us realize that we will eventually have our own store someday. But I think it's safe to say that back in that time, we weren't ready for it. The things that we were trying to do.
It's all learning experiences.
The things that we were trying to do, I don't think it was meant to fit our destiny, our fate, that we still had a lot to learn. But just even I don't like to say they were failures, but we did walk away from those ventures that we started. We still learned a lot from it. We just didn't really go anywhere with it.
Well, some places it just never. The way I look at it, it's
passion.
all. No,
they weren't passionate.
It was more about money than it was about anything else, and that's where we failed at it because we pushed the money part, but it wasn't a true
we weren't
love for
helping
what
people.
we were doing.
Right.
We just
weren't
did it
giving
because
back.
we're like, we want to be rich. No, that's my mentality.
Yeah,
That
your
wasn't really
mentality
yours.
is. Yeah.
I wanted to be like, because
I want to save all the puppies, and you just want.
it was all about that part of it at that point. And then, but again, I look at it as learning because it was, by not going through that, we wouldn't be where we're at today.
But that's true with even our jobs. Or, I
Everything
will
led to
not
this
call
point.
those careers because they sucked.
To me, it's all learning experiences.
It is.
Just, there's building blocks to get to this point of where we're at. And the biggest reason why we wanted to open up a Wiccan/witchcraft/pagan store is because we could not really find something that had what we were looking for. And you got to remember, we come from an era where you didn't have internet and buy stuff online. So for us, it was like
hands-on,
finding stores and doing this,
making your own shit.
Yeah, I mean, once all the stuff came about, internet and all that stuff, and stores popping up, it's still, you want to see the stuff.
You want to touch it.
Because I don't know how many things I've ordered online that I get, and I'm like, what the hell is this?
Yeah, you just didn't connect with it. It didn't feel right in your hands.
So doing that, I mean, it led to this because now we have the stuff and people can come see it, feel it, touch it, and it gives us the ability to share what we know to people and to help people. And that's the most fulfilling part of anything.
Well, even one of the things that I find myself saying a lot is that, even when we have customers in the store now, that I would say only about 25% of what we do is ring you up at the register or point where the sage is. Because we've got a pretty good sized store here. We've got a lot of shit to look at, and if you do decide to come in without your kids, because you're going to be spending a lot of time here, and you're just going to want to get lost in this place. It's a fucking cool place, even though it's mine, it's ours. So
I mean, yours.
But it's mine. It's mine.
You got everything.
25% of what we do is we ring you up and we point out what it is that you're looking for. But 75% of the time, what we do, we're here for you. We answer questions. We won't chase you down. We're not out to fucking convert you. I really don't care. But if you've got questions, then come in and ask. We're not going to sit here and tell you step by step how to do something. We're going to encourage you to grow and learn and, put a book in your hand and
give
say.
Give you ideas, tell you things that we've done, we've gone through, but it doesn't mean, again, because I did it one way, it doesn't mean it's going to work for you your way.
Probably not. We're very much going to encourage you to learn, to educate yourself, and to come back and purchase the tools that you need to accomplish an intention. But at the same time, you've got friends in us. I mean, we can relate. We can empathize. Yes, that's what I was about to say. I was about to say emphasize. We can empathize with a lot of things that come through the door, and generally
been through a lot of crap.
Yeah, both of us have.
Yeah, all different aspects of all different things.
So don't be afraid to come in and ask if you don't know. I'm not going to sit here and have a fucking debate with you. If you want to do that, it'll be off hours, and I'll have a happy debate with anybody over anything. But, as far as just needing some help, yeah. So, fulfillment. This store is our passion. It's our baby. It's an accumulation of everything that we've learned, all of our skills, our ability, our strengths into a business we apply. Our personalities, my personality's vomited all over these walls. You walk in and you see my soul, my gypsy, gutsy soul, and from the music that's playing to the incense that you smell when you walk in, it's all parts of us.
Yeah. That's why it's perfect.
It
Fits.
is. I love it here. I bring a
Me
pillow
too.
and a sleeping bag.
Finally, I can say I love going to work.
Right? All right. What's the next question?
Next question, I think we answered this one too, somewhere in the midst of flapping our jaws.
Okay.
From Missy, how long have you been practicing, and when were you introduced to the craft?
Yeah, I think it's pretty safe, Missy, to say that we've kind of gone over that
Yeah.
already. Again, I mean, if you got a question based off of what we said that we didn't quite pinpoint, feel free, please ask us, because we're kind of clueless around here. We can't do this without you guys, so we appreciate your
She
input.
asked how long we've been practicing. So.
Practicing.
Yeah.
Spirituality, 19.
Date yourself.
What?
Now you're going to date yourself.
I'm gonna
Which
date
I
do I
already
have
did.
to wine and dine myself first?
No.
No, is that part of dating myself?
No.
No?
Cheap date.
Cheap date, McDonald's,
Yeah.
apple pie. Okay.
You already dated yourself. You already said you were 48.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, yeah.
So, magic came second. The spiritual transformation came first. But magic probably came about 3 or 4 years after. Because for me, I needed fact. I'm a sciencey girl. I'm a little more logical than blind faith. I can't just believe it because you say it, and everybody else is feeling it, so I feel it too. I'm not a fucking sheep. I felt like a sheep in the religious vein of my life. I'm the black sheep. I ask, I poke bears with sticks, and all in the name of growing and getting stronger, facing fears, and actually becoming happy and loving myself. So,
So you
This
did date
is-
yourself.
what?
You love yourself. You dated
Oh,
yourself.
I love myself. I would totally date me. I would
I'd
do
date
me.
you too, baby.
You want to date me?
Yeah.
You're kind of cute. I
Sometimes.
I'll maybe slip you my number later. Okay. What you got? So,
That's it. Basically, when we introduced to the craft, that was the second part of her question. So I think we hit all that
yeah.
before the fact. I mean, for me, I've been practicing, depending on what you want to call. I mean, I'm going to probably say all my life because, I mean, everything I've experienced and went through, positive or negative, has all been a learning experience to get to this point. But if you're talking actual craft aspect, then I would probably say 22, 23.
Since the age of 22? Or 22 years?
I'll not say 22 years. I mean,
The age
you're
of.
going to make me do math. Come on.
Yeah, come on, old man. You got this.
Shit.
Come on. Guess.
49 now. It'll be
4 times 16 minus
probably
32.
about 20 years, maybe a little
Okay.
more. But again, I'm still growing. I'm still learning. I mean, just a little bit about me, I guess. We'll hit on that topic before we close, I guess.
It's
Talk a
all
little bit
about
about us.
you.
It's
It's all
me.
about
It
you.
is about
Shay.
me.
Do it.
Everything's about
Shh, tell us.
So anyway, I'm currently a member of the Golden Dawn. I'm working my way through their systems to see if, again, it's all about the quest for, I don't know, for me, it's knowledge, plus it's trying to figure out if a divine does exist or something out there. I mean, I fall more agnostic, but again, I believe in the powers of energy. I believe energy's out there, vibrations, all that stuff. So I'm trying to search for, I don't know, maybe a divine. But anyway, so I'm in the Golden Dawn. I do stuff. I incorporate a lot with hoodoo, voodoo, Santeria, but I can't say I'm a practitioner. But I do incorporate a lot of stuff that they do into what I do. And I do a lot with the
What is
witchcraft
definition of
aspect.
practitioner, though?
For me, it's a practitioner. To me, is somebody who does it on a consistent basis. So, like,
Okay.
say, if you're falling under the Wiccan practitioner, you follow the Wiccan Sabbaths, you
Yes,
do the
bounce.
moons, you do all these different things. To me, that becomes a practitioner. So, for like the voodoo, hoodoo, their culture is different than what Wicca aspect is. So, they have different gods, different belief systems. So, I can't say I follow
One specific.
100% of what they do.
Well, that's why we're eclectic.
Yeah, I mean, I incorporate some of their stuff into what we do, but I don't follow their. I'm not a hardcore practitioner.
Okay.
There we go. But I dabble in everything.
Well, that's fun. Yeah, variety of spice of life, baby.
Yeah.
I can't say, I think that that's one of the really cool things about us being very different is the fact that you are proclaimed agnostic. I am not, and often I'm asked, well, pagans are polytheistic, meaning that they believe in multiple gods or deities, in comparison to the monotheistic, which is one God, and you typically hear that from the Abrahamic umbrella, the Christian faith, Catholicism, whatever you want to call it. Being eclectic, and I hate being labeled as things, so I'll let you guys decide what the fuck kind of word you want to call it, but I'm going to say, people call it God or goddess or, Yoda or Odin or Thor or whatever. I call it spirit. Spirit is the epitome of all energy combined into one. Every gender, every race, every animal, every tree, every god or goddess, everything mixed up in one big ball of energy. And spirit is my best friend. Absolutely my best friend. I would say, safe to say, Shay is my best human friend. Oh, you're my best human friend.
I'm special.
But, outside of Shay, spirit has, everything to me. As far as manipulation of energy, I tend to stray now, more into animal energies rather than mythological pagan pantheons, whatever you want to call them. Earth, air, fire, water. Those are my babies. With spirit, encompassing. Say that. Encompassing. Thank you. Encompassing.
Yes.
Yes. Encompassing all. And it's, I flow with whatever comes my way. What were you about to say? Looks like you were about to make out with the microphone.
No, I was just going to say. This is a whole different topic.
Okay, write it down so we don't forget.
No, it's all about what you talk about with spirit encompassing. That's what I was going to
Okay, yeah.
But we're not going to go there.
No, I just said it.
Yep,
and if you want to expand on it, we'll talk about that shit later.
Yeah, talk about some other time.
Okay. So, in general, that may have been a little vague for you guys, but hey, it's podcast number 1, and we're not going anywhere. We got a lot of shit to talk about in the future, and again, we're going to definitely ask, suggest that you guys...
I was going to say, if you guys got any other questions, anything you want to know more about based off of this one, hit us up on Facebook. All you got to do is say, hey, I got a question. Bring this up, ask us, or come into the shop, talk to us personally, either one. Mm-hmm. We're here. Yeah. I'm not going to hide from anything, tell you how it is, whether you like it or not. And we're not trying not to purposely hurt people. It's we're not afraid to speak our own mind and our own opinions.
We are not fearful people around here.
Doesn't mean we're wrong. We could be totally out in left space somewhere. Who the hell cares?
I'm an alien.
It's all about fun.
I'm an alien.
No. You get some of those.
Well,
anyway.
And, who's to say that they aren't?
Right.
But that's another podcast entirely as well. Okay, well,
wrap it up.
I think we're going to wrap this up. But thank you so much for listening to us and finding us. And please don't be afraid to comment as to what you think about this, if you think that this is going to be fun or not, or if we're just full of shit.
If you think we're crap, then tell us.
Yeah, hey, we don't bruise easily around here. In fact, we like tough love. So
make us push harder to do more, just to annoy you.
Yeah, but just please keep it in mind. Throughout this podcast or anything in the future, everything that we say, it's based off of what we feel and what we believe. We don't speak for anybody else, and we're never here trying to bash anybody else's beliefs or how they do things, because as long as you are happy and you're healthy, I don't fucking care what you do.
Right.
I really don't.
Happy and healthy.
All right, guys. Well, happy November 2018. Thank you so much for listening to Book of Shadows podcast number 1. You take care, be happy, blessed be. This is Feather.
This is Shay. We'll talk to you soon.
Okay, bye-bye.